Some people I know only want to work 10 hours a week. So one of the people, I think you met David Blum, didn't you? The real estate investor? When I met David, he had just left his IT position, and he was making $100,000 a year teaching people how to invest in real estate. And he was really proud of that, which I think rightly so, because that was $20,000 a year more than he made doing IT. But he was working 70 hours a week. And so I taught him the business process that I teach entrepreneurs.
Success is a relative.
Well, we'll get to that. So what I did is I taught him how to build his business by referrals. And in 2 years, he ended up having $500,000 a year income. But he only worked 20 hours a week. All right, to him, that was success. Right? I don't know about any of you, but 500,000 a year sounds pretty good, right? You'd probably be on a cruise right now. So you have to think about the end in mind. You've all heard that, right? So if you know where you want to be, I was talking to a man that I met 3 years ago, and I do a lot of interviewing. I do a lot of combined efforts to work with people, because a lot of times people have an idea but they don't know how to get there. So September is Singles Month, and my second book is Making a List and Checking It Twice, what singles need to know. And I wrote that because my coach said I had to do something fun. And to me, that was fun. And he said that wasn't what he had in mind. But so I decided to market the book, and one of the things that came up 3 years ago was being Singles Month. We decided to interview all the people who had anything to do with singles. So Leo Lowndes has the most books published in the United States for singles, 23 books in 23 years. And I called her up, and she answered the phone, so I didn't know, you know, she was like a major published author, but she didn't believe in having other people take care of her business. So I interviewed her and 21 other people. So we had every day in the week in September, one person we would interview. And that was really cool. So I was talking to him today, and since we did the interview, everything's fallen apart. And I said, Bill, I think you gotta look at the writing on the wall. Because I truly believe when things aren't working in your life, it's a big message. And I said, you'll probably really appreciate this. I said, you know, you've been getting subtle messages for the last 3 years. Now his house is going for sale. It's going in foreclosure on Thursday next week. I said, so the lessons are getting bigger, aren't they? Right? So if you don't pay attention to the little lessons, they're going to get so big you can't ignore them. So I want you to think about whatever lessons you're going through at this point in your life. You don't want to get them bigger. You got to deal with them now. Right? You want to look at the big picture. What is it? Your grandest dream. And I asked Bill, where would you want to live? He lives in Wisconsin. Why does anybody live in Wisconsin? Right? The snow, the winters, well, you can buy Wisconsin cheese here. So, you know, what is it that keeps somebody in an environment that he hates the winter, and he's not making any money, and he's just really struggling? And I said, why would you want to continue to do that? And he said, I just don't know how to get out of here. And I said, it's real simple. You sell everything you have, let the house go, pack up your suitcase, and go to San Diego. You got enough money to live for 2 months, and in the meantime, this is what you're going to do. And he started laughing. And I said, what's so funny? He said, you make it sound so easy. So it's that chatter, isn't it, that keeps it from being easy. I was in Los Angeles taking a workshop in 2000, and this man said, never go into your mind alone. It's a dangerous place to walk. Isn't it perfect?
Yeah.
So when you think about what's going on in your own head, can you know anything more than you know? I don't think so. You can read another book. You can take another class. I met another woman in Costa Mesa one time, and she had taken over $130,000 worth of workshops trying to figure out what she wanted to do. I said, what if you had taken that $130,000 and bought a business that earned you $200,000 a year? Then where would you be? Right?
Yes.
Simple semantics. I mean, all you do is you re-engineer what you're already doing. So you don't have to wait until everything's perfect in your life to change what's going on so that you have the life that you want. I mean, I know artists, and you know, it's too bad that people don't support artists, right? You know, I look around the room and I see some of the art, and I think it's just absolutely incredible that people can create such amazing things out of their imagination. And yet most artists never make enough money to live. And that's sad. But there's no excuse for that. I met a young man in Berkeley who made $150,000 a year hand painting silk ties. So if he can do it, can someone else? Right? Anything that's ever been accomplished, if there's anything that you want to aspire to, once someone's done it, can't you? Right? I have chosen my mentors wisely over the years. And I got this from Wayne Dyer. How many of you have ever read Wayne Dyer?
Oh, yeah.
Should be 100%, right? So I was reading a book by Wayne Dyer, and remember the story where he was working at the fitness gym and he saw the limousine pull up in front of the gym and he decided to go ask that man if he could buy him a cup of coffee? And the guy said, I guess, okay. So they sat down and Wayne said, I want to be you. How did you get to be you? And the man said, a lot of hard work. And he challenged Wayne. You know, how many hours do you work? What do you do to increase the membership in the gym? And so on and so on and so on. And Wayne Dyer became who he is because he listened. How many times have you had advice that you just don't pay attention to? How many times do you see the writing on the wall but you choose to ignore it? So I'm going to give you a little tool that is the best thing that ever happened to me. So if you've got something on your lap, I want both your hands free. And we've been touching bottles and doors, and I want you to wipe that off of your fingertips, just the fingertips. Just kind of rub that so it's clean. And then I want you to put your 3 fingers together and very lightly rub up and down, up and down. See how silky smooth that is? Mm-hmm. Say your names out loud. All of you say my name. Is there a Sean in the room? No? All of you say my name is Sean.
My name is Sean.
Do you feel how it's not smooth anymore? It drags, it's rough. That's your nose. That's your nose. So now you can ask, should I have that ice cream tonight? Should I go out with that guy? No. We have been taught not to trust our own knowledge. The more you practice this, when I'm talking to people and they're saying, oh, you got to do this, you got to go there, you got to meet this person, I'm under the table doing this. I'm checking it out because I don't trust my own brain to go logically, that makes sense, right? But sometimes you can do it with your 2 fingers when you're really good with energy. You really can. But not everybody starts there. You've been doing a lot of energy work. But you can actually do that very easily, but only if you've been working with a lot of energy.
Can I just ask you if they say that most of us are born with a genius level intelligence? How is that known if we're not acting like geniuses today?
Well, what they did is they followed these children, and when they tested them at 2, they had a genius capacity, which was a shock to me. I didn't know you could know that at 2. But then as they followed them, 2,000 children for 20 years, they found out at 21 only 2% were left.
Everybody in this room is a genius.
Yes. So, you know, what I want you to do is start trusting. Now, the more often you do this, the more often you will know without doing it. Right? So it brings to mind, through a mind-body connection, what is right and what is wrong. And it's not for everybody the same decision, right? We all have our own individual what we're supposed to do. Now, I truly believe that everyone in this room has a book in them. And they actually prove that, you know, when they do autopsies and they open up the body and they pull out the book.